Welcome to the road least traveled. If this is your first time here, my name is Sue Lee. I talk about spiritual stuff and our personal journeys to enlightenment or throughout enlightenment. And I offer support to people who are going on this journey. So welcome. This morning when I woke up, I was feeling a bit down and I didn't know why. I wasn't sure. I looked deep into all the whys and examined all my emotions, and I still didn't know why. And I feel that sometimes we can be too hard on ourselves. Sometimes we just sit it out or take a nap or just sleep on it, and the next day is different. But I decided to take a drive. So I decided to take my 3 dogs out for a drive in the city because, it's Chinese New Year soon. And I took them to Chinatown. I took them to, the heart of the city where all the decorations were out, and all the digital screens, those huge giant digital screens. It was so festive and, and busy. There were so many tourists, there were local people. And one of my kids, one of my dogs, Piotr, he is from the jungle. He is a wildling. So this was actually the first time that he'd been in such a busy environment. I mean, he's been to the city before, but not at this level of drama, because it's so close to Chinese New Year. And he was shivering. He was just trembling in the car. And when we stopped at the light, 2 tourists walked past our car and they started waving, and then one of them did this, and I waved back, and I didn't know why they did it, but I waved back anyway. It was so nice of them. I think it was because they saw a window sticker on my car that says honk if you have a rescued pet, and I had 3 dogs in the car. And they were just waving at them, and they were waving at me. And I thought that was such a nice thing to happen, And it just felt like the universe, the angels, sent me those people to cheer me up. It's these little acts of kindness and humanity that connect us to other people. Every time we feel down or we're on the verge of giving up, we can take these little incidents with us wherever we are, and some of them can actually last a lifetime. So, anyway, the revenge of the scapegoat. I know even though scapegoats have very similar stories and they share a very similar path, still each of us has our own journey, and they can't be exactly the same. I'm just going to share with you my own personal experiences and see if you can relate or at least take some value out of it. Now, the first step to your revenge, that would have happened a long time ago, except you didn't know it, okay? It would have happened in the days where you were constantly being told, well, I was anyway, constantly being told or implied. It's very, very subtle implications. That really seeps into your brain without you even knowing. Implications that you are evil, you're poisonous, you're vindictive, you are toxic, selfish, stupid, dumb, naive, all those things. If they were implied constantly, then of course all of that seeps into your mind, and you begin to feel and you begin to believe that you are all those things, as it happened in the early days of my childhood. From a very early age, I was already trying my best, trying my hardest to be a better person, to be less selfish, to be smarter, just generally to be a good person. I was trying so very hard. That's all I remember thinking, that I have to be a good person. So I spent most of my life trying to improve myself. I learned new skills. I learned so many things. I sharpened my talents. And guess what? When I found out about scapegoating and all those toxic family dynamics, when I finally caught on to it, figured everything out, all the effort that I put in myself are now all mine. Not anyone else's, not theirs, because they never wanted it anyway. They just wanted to make me do all these things to their amusement. It was all about power. Look, I snap my finger and then you jump. I snap my finger and you crawl. I snap my finger and you do whatever it is that you think will please me. But ha 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 ha, nothing ever is going to please me. What pleases me is you constantly trying, endlessly, infinitely trying. That is what amuses me to no end. So that's what the narcissist is thinking. But once we figure this out, all this effort that we put in, all the love that we gave them, they all come back to us because we start to give it back to ourselves. And that is a lot of love that we gave them that now all belongs to us. So that is the first step of your revenge. The second step was my realization that nothing I did was right. Nothing I did satisfied them. I tried 1,000 ways. It was exhausting. And when I realized that it wasn't what I said, it wasn't what I did that was wrong. It was me wrong at the core. I was wrong at the core to them. So after realizing that, I tried to discuss with them. Because I thought maybe they're not aware. I was still trying to have a relationship with them. And every time I tried to discuss it, every time I tried to talk about it, they would ignore me, or they would put the blame on me, or they would just walk away. And it still took me some time to realize that they didn't want a relationship with me. They weren't interested in it. They were only interested in having me stay in order to watch me suffer, to continue suffering. That was a very hard pill to swallow, and it took me a very long time to accept it. But when I accepted it, that was yet another stage of my freedom from this. So that is revenge step number 2, when you finally accept it, that they don't want a relationship with you. The third step of the revenge of the scapegoat. I searched online. I searched for hours each day, and I watched literally thousands of videos, and I read thousands of articles. I think I must have spent about a good 3 years, because at the beginning I just couldn't believe it. And it took me a long time to finally believe it, because everyone else had the same story, and because knowledge is power, and because narcissism is all about power. That was the third step of my revenge, because I was powerful. Not that I considered myself powerful, not that I'm power hungry, but to them, I had won. To them. Revenge step 4. I struggled with the possibility that they didn't love me, they didn't care. I struggled for a long time with that, but when I finally accepted it without judgment, accepted it for the objective of moving forward, with the objective of healing myself and improving my own life, I had to accept what had been staring at me all this while that I didn't want to see, was that they didn't love me. Once I accepted it, I was then even more powerful than before. Revenge step number 5. That was when I said, fuck it. Everything that I did for them, all the effort that I made, all the emotions that I invested in them, I'm going to give all of that to myself, which is easy because I'd spent my entire life trying to please them. I'd spent my entire life trying to improve myself. All of that was for them. And the moment I decided that you're not going to have all this anymore, I'm going to give all of that to myself. It's as though it was like a cake that you prepared earlier. It's there. It's all there. You just got to take it, admire it, and eat it. Everything that you did for them, you give it to yourself. That's revenge step 5. Revenge step 6. The gratitude that I felt for what they put me through just made me realize that I'd always been a good person. I'd always had the strength and resilience. It was the character of my soul that pissed them off to no end. And that, my friend, is the sweetest revenge of all. So do let me know in the comment section how you intend to carry out your revenge.